Temptation, it all went much too fast, and we're stuck in here. It's just a reason to fall. We're too small if you're leaving the ball.
You know, the thing that I miss the most about my childhood isn't even necessarily the childhood itself. What I mean by that is, we tend to romanticize the idea of childhood, the endless summer days, lack of responsibility, someone else taking care of your entire existence. Like somebody is responsible to feed you. Your only real objective in life is to grow up, learn things, make friends, try to be social, things like that. And it's always the process of learning something that is the most fun and the most freeing. So as a people, I think we tend to romanticize that. I don't miss that as much because if I'm being honest, I think that I view my childhood, at least while I was in it, kind of like I was in a prison. And that's not to say that I had like an overbearing family, because I certainly did not. We were free range to the core. We were allowed to do whatever the fuck we wanted, pretty much to an extent. You know what I mean? Like there were some guidelines, but we never really had to cross them because they were so far out of left field that it didn't matter anyway. But I always felt like I didn't have control of my own autonomy. Somebody else was always responsible for me, whether it was my father or my mother or my grandparents or my teachers. Somebody was always trying to steer me in the right direction, and anybody that knows me can probably verify that I do not do well with authority at all. So not being in control of what I want to do is painful. What I do miss about my childhood is my dad's basement. That's where I think I really discovered myself as a photographer and an artist, because the place was so dingy and dark and gross that I could do whatever the hell I wanted down there. I could throw paint at the walls, throw flour all over the place, which I did, and then forgot to clean it up, and it created like bacteria cultures that eventually took over the entire damn place. There was broken furniture, broken records, broken glass, broken VHS cassettes. Anything I could find to break for a photo, I did, and I did it in that basement. When I reached adulthood and left my dad's house, I didn't really give the basement much consideration at all, really. I figured it had served its purpose, I had nothing else left to prove down there, and I was ready to see it go. So I hopped on the train to Chicago, not knowing that that would be the last time I ever stepped foot in that house. A few months after I left, the house was foreclosed on and some other family bought it. But the older that I get, the more that I realize how important that basement actually was to me. And I think it goes right back to that sense of freedom that I felt that I had down there. There was no authority. It was lawless. Total fucking anarchy in the best, most beautiful way. I never really had that again. You get landlords in life, and you know that none of them are going to be cool with destroying a room in the house, and I didn't want to anyway because I was paying for it. And when you pay for something, you tend to want to take care of it more than if it's just given to you inherently. I still had this desire to have a room that I could just do whatever the fuck I wanted in, and it was lawless. I missed the anarchy, and 11 years later, I still hadn't had it until I moved into this house and discovered the upstairs bathroom. It is now christened...
God bless the child! You're all over your phone. How the fuck did that happen?
Now, I'm not saying that I have any desire to destroy it, because I don't, but there is a sense of freedom in that room because it needs a lot of work anyway. So when a couple of my friends say something like, hey, I want to douse myself in blood and hop in the bathtub, I'm like, I can do that. When some of my other friends are like, hey, I want to cover myself in glitter and drink PBR in the bathtub, I'm like, yes, we can do that because I have access to it. This is a whole fucking thing right now.
Whole thing.
What do we have going on downstairs?
A whole deal of trash candy is going on with water.
Because as you can see, there's no faucets on this bitch. Eventually we'll get it though. Give me the anarchy. I realized that this is the first time in my adult life that I've had that kind of freedom. And I realized recently how much I actually missed that basement when I was searching through old photos. Because, you know, I'm in quarantine, so I gotta find ways to fill my time the best that I can. And sometimes just, let's go back into the memory banks. And I discovered this photo. That was the last time I ever shot photos in that basement. And I realized just how much I actually missed it. The coolest part about that fucking basement was that I didn't have to clean anything. It could stay fucked up. I don't have that luxury here. There's been glitter in that room for the better part of a week and a half now, and I've just been too fucking lazy to clean it up. I'm going to do that as soon as I stop recording this, and that kind of makes my lazy ass miss the basement even more, because anarchy. I don't like anarchy as a construct for society, but as a personal frame of reference, it's the only thing that seems to work. Doesn't work for the world, works for this guy personally. I'm a personal anarchist, and I guess a social nihilist because I think we're all fucked. Anyway, that's it for today. I am gonna go clean it and mourn the loss of not having a place that I can do that and not have to clean. Because on top of being a personal anarchist, I'm also a total garbage human being, lazy piece of shit, slob. What can you do? I've tried to make strides, and you know, it's like a fucking pendulum. Sometimes I get better, sometimes I get worse. I don't fucking know. Come on, let's go clean. Okay, so this is a goddamn mess.